Here are the 10 things you must put into consideration before you relocate. Before we jump into this amazing topic, which is very important at a time like this because a lot of persons are making decisions, a lot of persons are moving out of their current location to other locations. Have you subscribed? Have you liked this video? Have you ever shared any of my videos? In fact, if this is your first time, I implore you, go check the entire channel. You'll see other interesting videos about relocation, about education, about your profession that will benefit you and your loved ones. Please do like, share, and comment. And most importantly, turn on your notification bell so you are among the very first few that will get notified once we drop a new video. So today, I because I have experienced it as an individual and with my family, I feel I can share a little of my knowledge about the necessary things you need to put into consideration before relocating to a new environment. It might be a new continent entirely. It might be within your same continent, a different country. There are factors that you need to put into consideration, whether as an individual, whether you are single, whether you are married, whether you are going with your partner, and most importantly, if you are going with your children. When we're talking about relocation, we're not talking about vacation, we're not talking about tourism, we're talking about you are thinking on the long term or on a permanent basis. So you need to put in a lot of thought into this. I'll be giving you 10 concrete factors you need to put into consideration. At the end of the video, I'll be giving you 2 to 3 more secret ingredients that are very important. So you have to stay till the end of the video to get those, not bonus points, secret ingredients. And once again, please subscribe to my channel and ensure we keep the community alive by sharing our thoughts, commenting, and liking. One, the very first consideration you should put out there is what are the job opportunities available to you. Most likely, you'll be resigning from your current position, leaving your business, leaving opportunities where you can actually easily get funds. You need to research what are the business opportunities, what are the job opportunities, what are the ease to funds assets that you will have as an immigrant, or whatnot. This is very crucial so that you don't get frustrated easily, so that you don't become handicapped easily. You need to understand that most likely the currency from where you are living to where you are going is lesser. So even the funds you might be going with might not be sufficient once you convert them. So please, very important. What are the job opportunities? You also need to understand what cadre you would be if you are a manager where you are currently. When you relocate, do the job opportunities, will the market there, the job market allow you continuously become a manager, or will it downgrade you to become, for instance, an analyst and engineer? Now you also need to compare the pay range, especially if you're married and with kids. So if for instance you've been earning maybe a million, whatever it is, and the new location you are going to is going to be beat down to 250. So you 2000, you need to consider, will you be able to live on this? What are the other opportunities in and around this? So it's not just about the economy. Is it stable? Is it no? There are factors you need to put in so that you don't get there and you are frustrated even in a stable economy, because of course money is are not grown on trees waiting for you to just come into that place and then pluck them off. So you need to look at how would you survive within the job market. Are you viable? Are you in high demand? You need to put this into consideration. You don't work on assumption. Oh, gracefully we have this information on the internet. Go to LinkedIn, go to Google, put up your current job title in that area and search. Are there vacancies for that job? If you don't see vacancies, you wouldn't just assume you will get those vacancies, or somebody has promised you that when you come over they will work something out. If it's really possible, let them work something out even before you get there. So you need to put all this into consideration. Very, very important. Secondly, the cost of living. Now, this is very critical because for the first 1 year, 2 year, probably for the next 5 years, your mentality will still be tailored towards your previous environment. You always want to convert the money. So if where you are coming from a cost, the cost of an apartment is probably 300,000, and where you are going to, it's now about 1 million, you'll find out that you might not be able to cope if your means of livelihood has not really changed significantly or is not going to change. So after you've considered your job prospects, the next thing is, what is the cost of living? How would this play out with my family? If you already have a job that is going that you are relocating for, that's fine. What is your current salary? How will you cater for your children's needs, your family needs, your needs, and the rest of it? So cost of living is very critical. There are cities, there are places that there are high cost of living. So if you need to move to the suburbs, if you need to move to the villages, that's fine. But you don't go blindly to this new settlement with all your luggages after you've given out everything you have in your current location, and then you've left everything behind. You have no assets, you have nothing, you sold everything, and once you migrate to the new place, you're realizing that, oh, the cost of bottled water is the same cost you use in buying shoes where you're coming from. It will be too late at that point to go back, because you'll be starting all over. So put that into consideration. Compare the cost of living in your current environment to the cost of living in the new area. This will give you an idea of what your expenses will be and help you budget accordingly. Now, you don't have to get to this location before you are start learning how to budget based on that climate. It's best you figure this out. It shows maturity. You are not relocating based on peer pressure. You are not relocating because it's a trend. You are relocating because you feel you need to. And that is why you are factoring everything critically. Because trust me, you are starting all over. You are starting all over. So you don't need somebody to even buy you into it. You should be sold out for it. You should understand the nitty-gritty of what it will entail for you to go. Thirdly, consider the climate. Our body structures are wired differently. Don't assume because your colleague, your friend, your neighbor traveled to that country and is surviving, you would also be able to. First, they might not be telling you the truth. They might also be painting it down. Oh, it's not bad. You can survive it. The same malaria that Mr. A gets hit with and survives it is the same malaria that kills Mr. B. The same flu that Mr. A gets, and within 2 or 3 days it's gone naturally. The same Mr. B has to treat with different medications and injections and a whole lot more for weeks before he gets out of it. So consider the climate. Can your body take it? Can your wife, your spouse take it? Can your kids take it? Can your relatives take it? It's not just taking it for the short term. Can you take it for the long term? Are you easily adaptable? If you are in a region that is hot and you cannot even take AC, air condition, for a long time in your office or in your place of worship or in your own apartment, how can you then go to a region that is constantly cold, that you even need heater to stay warm? Don't deceive yourself. These things bring depression. These things bring heartbreak. You get there, you start asking yourself, what brought me here? Find out what it means, how the climate is. Make sure it is suitable to you. Like I said, this information are always available. What is the current temperature in social region? Well, minus 0 point this is, what does minus 0 point this really mean? Look for reviews, look for other people's experience, so that you can understand exactly what you are getting into. So that if you need to get the right jacket, if you need to get the right materials, you are doing this once and for all. You don't just get to the airport and you are like, oh God, what's this? So it just looks stupid if that is at the point you are realizing, oh, I didn't know it was this cold, or I didn't know it was this hot. So please, to avoid looking stupid or unplanned, plan well. Understand what the climate is. Consider the climate of this new area and make sure it is something you can tolerate. Make sure it is something you can tolerate. Now, also, you need to put into consideration the quality of schools. What is the quality of schools in this area? Are they better off than where you are coming from, or is the same level? You don't want your kids going to this new school and it's damaging their entire thought process, learning process. It's not helping them do way better. So you need to put this into consideration. If you have children, what are the ages of your children? What are the current levels they are? Will they have to downgrade because of the age difference? Some countries would say, oh, from 6 years old cannot start, below 6 years old cannot start schooling until after 6 years old. Whereas in your current country, you already have your 3-year-old been in school for over 3 years or less than, or you get the idea, you get the drift. So maybe because of your type of job, you already want your child out of school. Consider the daycare. What's the cost of daycare in the area you are considering? Research the quality of the schools, the cost, and whatnot, so that you are in the know. In fact, I would advise you already know the school your children will be going to even before you arrive. You don't just arrive and you start asking around at that point. These informations are all on the internet. Make good use of the internet. Be informed. Be well informed. Depending on the country you are going to, even at the visa application stage, interview stage, they also want to know how informed you are about the environment you are going to. So that your family don't also look at you as just putting them into jeopardy without putting their safety, their future into consideration. You need to put all this into proper planning, so that you don't indulge yourself in debt, unnecessary debt. You don't have your kids staying at home for years because they've not gotten to the limit of going to school, and you don't have anybody to care for them, or you can't even afford the basic schools. If there are areas that are not free schools, you are unable to afford because of the cost of those schools. So please, it's very, very important, especially when you are going with your family or you already plan to have kids in the nearest future. Proximity, number 5. Proximity to family and friends. Of course, you are moving from this region to that region, to this continent to that continent, so that you don't become lonely. Because of course it depends on the how hospitable the area you are going to is, how welcoming they are. um you need to be close to your family and friends. Also, it might not necessarily be in that area, might not necessarily be in that country. Is the country also close back to your home? Can you easily travel back and forth? Or are there already lots of your relatives and family friends around the city or the country you are going to? It's necessary so that you can keep the bond alive, and so that you can get good support system. It is very important. Good support system is very important. Uh, and see if it's something you can be comfortable with, rather than starting off in an entirely new environment. If at the end of the day you realize that you have to go, and there are no friends or relatives around this place, you already understand what you are going into. You don't just get there and that is when you start trying to make contacts, trying to ask for those that are staying around. Already do this research. It's very important, because you only live life once. It's your life, you are moving. So it's not like you get to play with it around and around and around again, especially when you are relocating entirely. So think about how far you will be from your current support system, and if it is something you'll be comfortable with. If it's something you can easily jump back to, or if you already have the same support system in and around where you'll be moving to. Number 6, transportation and commuting. There are areas because I've relocated, I realize that not all places are as structured as you would think it would be. Some streets are not labeled. So when it comes to commuting, you might have to depend on Google. So if before you commute, you don't understand how Google Map works, you need to learn it. You don't get there and you start learning how Google Map works, it becomes worse for you. Your movement becomes restricted. And transportation, research the availability and the reliability of public transportation. If you plan to drive, consider the traffic and commute time in the new area. You cannot live in an area where it is less populated, and you move to an area that is densely populated where there is traffic, might become a nightmare for you. Yes, so you don't live in an area where there is free flow of traffic, there is free flow of car movement, and you move to an area where you spend 2 hours, 3 hours stuck in traffic. If you've not emphasized that, if you've not put that into consideration, you might be in for a difficult time, because it will be difficult for you to adjust to. So you are looking for an environment, with all this we are considering, you're looking for an environment that will be easy for you to adapt. So consider the transportation. Do they have rail system, train system? Do they have air system? Depending on what your purpose of relocation is, you need to also consider the mode of transportation, ease of transportation. Will you be moving with your car? Is it a country that you can drive with your car, or will you be purchasing a car? What are the ease of doing all this, and the cost in and around all this is very important, so that you can put all this into your budgeting and you are not shocked at the end of the day with what's coming at you. Number seven is safety. Look into the crime rate of the new area and make sure it is a place you feel safer. You cannot leave a safe place to an unsafe place. You cannot leave a semi-safe place to another semi-safe place. You must be living either a safe place to a safer place, or you are living an insecure place to a more secure place. Especially when you are moving with your family, you cannot take your children and your family to a new area you don't understand the geographical region, and you start running a tasketa. Look at the safety, research it completely. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, ask people what is the safety like during the day, what is the safety like during the night, what is the response rate of the law enforcement agent. Yes, like I mentioned, it's your life, you are moving. You only have one to live. It's not like once one goes, you get another one to play with. So ensure that you put the safety into consideration. It's very important, so that we don't we don't regret our actions. The prayer is, as you move, um, you are able to return back wholly and more, not less. So that's the goal. Please ensure that you really know how safe the environment is, or which is a more safer area for you to relocate to. Yes, instead of just blindly choosing an area because it's a popular area, it's well known. No, do your due diligence, make proper contacts, make a proper investigation, so that you can sleep at night, so that you can go out at night, so that you can do your transactions safely. You are not in the dark of what's happening. Pickpocket, put all this into consideration. Car theft, put all this, ask a lot of questions, ask questions. Go to blogs, go to different forums and ask questions. How does it? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You are dealing. It's your life. You are dealing with here. So feel free, feel bold to ask questions on on safety. Is very, very important. Safety, even if every other things, six things we've mentioned are checked properly for this area, and the seventh thing, safety, is not checked, it should be a red flag for you. Number eight, cultural and leisure activities. Look into the availability of cultural and leisure activities in the new area to make sure you will have things to do in your spare time. I have lots of friends in different countries that will tell you they are bored, they can't go out, there are no places to go to, and that and that and that and that. If you are an extrovert, if you are an outgoing person, please go to an area, go to a place where you know you will get fun activities to play with during your leisure time. It's going to be very worse when depression starts setting in, because you are bored, you are always indoors, there are no friends, there are no places to go, and a whole lot of things. So is it a culture you can easily blend with, that you can acclimatize yourself with? What are the leisure activities? Do you like football? Are you going to a football area? And so on. Just look for what suits you, and what can easily blend into the environment, and that. Number nine, the availability of housing. We already looked at cost of living, so let's assume you are able to afford it. But what are the availability? Most times we already have taste, depending um, on the standard of living that you currently have. So you might want to maintain that standard of living. So research the housing options and availability in your new area and make sure you can find a place to live that fits your needs and budget. It might be Airbnb, it might be a service entirely a separate service apartment, it might be rentage per month, it might be an hotel. Look for what suits your budget. Housing is very important because the moment you are landing from the airport or from the train or from the border, the next thing is an accommodation to put your head. So if it's possible, I would advise you already get this settled, sorted out far before you make that move. Other things can wait till the next day, but the accommodation you have to sleep that night. You have to sleep. You need to even refresh yourself that very moment you are getting into the place. So research availability of housing and what suits you best. Number 10 is taxes. Look into the tax in the area, in the new area, to get an idea of how much you'll be paying in state, local, and federal taxes. Now, this is a deal breaker for most people. People just maybe they're moving because of a new job or they got a new job there. I would advise don't negotiate on don't budget based on your gross, budget based on your net. What is your take home? Is that satisfactory for you? Because if you keep budgeting on your gross, by the time the state, the local, and the federal tax hit you, you might not be in for it. So ensure that you understand what it means. Some I've seen people move to Arab countries where it's tax free. So if that is what suits you, make your research. If this there are other countries that suits you, make your research and ensure that you are comfortable, your job can cater or your income can cater for these taxes and your lifestyle can also cater for it. It will help you make proper decision on how long you can stay there, the kind of job you can get, and how you need to quickly scale up your career development so that you can meet up with what suits you and the whole others. Thank you so far for listening and watching to this stage. Before I give you the other secret ingredient, if you have not subscribed to this channel, the question is, what are you still waiting for? Are we not giving you value enough? For you to have stayed here, it means you are enjoying the value. Subscribe, share this content with other persons on your WhatsApp. Yes, it's very important. A lot of persons are relocating. So don't let anybody make mistake. Don't wait for people to start chatting you up and say, oh, I wish I had known this. Give them these 10 tips and in addition, these two ingredients before you relocate. Number 11 or number one secret ingredient, consider your age. It's very important. Now, if you are above 40, I want to believe when people say they are relocating, they don't intend to grow old and die over in those countries. They intend coming back soon. So at least from 70, um, they will start returning back home. Maybe some that are not ready to work till old age. I don't know how many companies will want to still keep 70 people in their workforce. Maybe from 60, 65, they'll start returning back. So let's take 65 as a benchmark. And you're moving at 40. 25 years is just what you have. And if your research gets you good that you can get the same, maybe you're already a director where you are currently. If you are guaranteed that you get a director's position, that's fine. I go with that. But if you are not guaranteed and you have to start going back to clean toilets, you have to start doing some kind of menial jobs. For me, I think you need to put that into consideration at that age. Um, for you to have gotten to the position of a director without having to relocate, I think it's a great fit already. I don't see why you should end your life going back to cleaning and then how long do you want to clean? How long do you want to school again from 40 that would qualify you to start looking for entry level jobs or mid level jobs where you're already a top management staff and then few years down the line you're already relocating back to your country. Um, I don't think it's a good retirement plan. Just my thought. I think you can, if you are prudent enough to save and want to relocate, I think you can do much investment with that funds, except if security uh, is what is not guaranteed. It's only on that basis I will tell you, regardless of your age, you can move. But if security is guaranteed, Put your age into consideration. Some relocations are not worth it, depending on your age, whether you're a man or a woman. Second secret, as a woman, consider the possibility of easily getting a spouse in the location you are going to. If you're already 35, 40, and above, and you're not getting a spouse where you currently are, you think it will be more easier when you relocate so that you don't get more depressed. Also, put that into consideration. And number three, your purpose. It's very important. You don't go to a country and you become useless. For instance, if you're a gospel singer and you're an English gospel singer, and because you heard of everybody relocating to France or maybe any other anglophone country, French speaking country, predominantly speaking country, you also relocate there to Togo, for instance, or Burkina Faso. At the end of the day, you only be forcing people to understand your English gospel singing. Or it may take you some great time to have to understand French to the extent you understand English. So if where you are relocating to does not align with your purpose, why are you relocating at all? Now, with these 3 points that I mentioned, I don't want us to get to a point in our lives, which is old age, that we get to sit back and regret, why did I have to make that move? I am up for relocation. Yes, relocation is not a bad thing, neither is it a good thing. The earth is God, and you can move to anywhere you want to. I'm always saying, let's do it with all consciousness, let's do it with all factors considered, let's do it with purpose. Thank you for staying tuned to the very end, and I want to believe this was value adding to you. More of this to come. If you subscribe, you will get to know them. If you turn on your notification bell, you'll be among the first to know. I would like to read your comments. I would like to read your opinions. Um, I'm wishing you all the best for those relocating, for those considering it. Have a good one. Bye.